Hello friends, welcome back. It's Brett. It's 8:53 p.m. on a Wednesday. The kids are asleep, the wife is out with friends, and I am here to bring you another deck list.
I'm just palling around with the guys. How's anybody going to get hurt?
The first time I brought you guys a deck list, the video was significantly longer than what I was expecting it to run to, but I walked you through my entire thought process when it came to building a deck. I'm trying something a little bit differently this time. I've already got the deck fully constructed in front of me here because it's actually a really straightforward deck. And I'm just going to sort of walk through some of the synergies that you may not know because you're new and there's some wonky timings, and some of the other technology that you include in this deck to round out what is otherwise a good boy theme deck.
I cannot condone actions that disrespect these desks, not when great men and women or upperclassmen once used them.
So we're going to start with the character. We've got Tenya up in front of me here. He's actually one of my favorite characters in the format because he flexes both offensively and defensively. His top responsibility is on both turns. You can give something -3 speed, you can give something +3 speed. There are certain characters in the format who are only on defensively, and certain characters that are only on offensively. And I'm sure as you play, you're going to notice that those characters are not as good as the characters that can be on both turns. Now, I'm not saying those characters are bad, they just don't get to play as much UFS or Universes or My Hero Academia only as some of the other characters in the format. So that's just something you'll want to keep in mind as you're evaluating the strengths of a character. Now, being that this is an Iida deck, surprise, surprise, we're playing 16 of Iida's attacks. We're just jamming all 4 copies of all 4 of his attacks here because we want to draw cards. We want to draw 2 cards here.
Second, I activate Pot of Greed, which lets me draw 2 more cards from my deck.
We want to draw a card here. We want to make 2 momentum here. If you're in deadlock, this deck really wants to get to 2 momentum for its combo kill. And then we're going to murder people with Recipro Burst. Now, you're asking yourself, I've gotten Recipro Burst up to like 8 speed before, 9 speed. That doesn't really do a good job of killing people. Well, let's go through some floating abilities here. You're gonna lead with Recipro Extend. You're gonna set up the top enhance. You're gonna draw a card. This card is free. But the top enhance is your next kick attack this turn gets +2 speed and +2 damage. You're gonna fly right into a Recipro Burst here. Now when you play Recipro Burst, you are going to resolve the floating ability from Recipro Extend, give it +2 damage, +2 speed, so it's a 5 low for 7. Then you're going to respond with Tenya before you even get to your enhanced step. You're going to make it 8 low for 7. And the opponent has to commit a foundation every single time they want to interact for the rest of this attack. And then you get down to this bad boy right here, plus Ultra. First enhance, discard a momentum, double your attacks, speed or damage. So this was at 8 speed. Now it's at 16 speed, and you haven't even used its stun ability. They haven't even tried to interact with Tenya's ability to commit a foundation. And you haven't even started blowing up your staging area to frozen. You're going to tap them down very quickly. This is going to get up to 20, 22 speed. You're going to pitch a momentum, you're going to give it 19 damage, and people are going to evaporate. That's the attack base. You look at all the other attacks that Iida has access to on order, not that great. You get Denki's foundation base to sort of try and drag you in that direction, but it's not worth compromising. So you get to your foundations. Now, fire is okay when it comes to spam. You get Clever Distraction for -2 speed on a higher low. Then you give it another -3 speed with Tenya and something's getting blocked. You play Calling for Backup because it's just your best 1-drop. With Tenya, this says draw card. Nice. You're looking to just cycle through your deck as quickly as possible to assemble something with Recipro Burst and plus Ultra. And finally, you play Precise Control. I'm not in love with this card. You could easily play something like Endanger out of the Bakugo theme deck as 0-5, but that card has very, very narrow windows of activation. This one is sort of just going to be here to round out your curve, but in a pinch it is a +3 mid block with Breaker 1. It'll do what you need it to do when you need it to do it, but you're not going to be doing it very often if you catch my drift. We play Frozen, we don't play 4, we just play 3. You always want to see 1, maybe you'll want to see 2 on some really long games, but I can pretty much assure you you're not going to want to see all 4. We're going to play 4 Irrefutable Force of Nature. You saw this card in my Ochako list. You actually saw Frozen in my Ochako list as well. Irrefutable Force of Nature is super important in this list because it's going to interact with things like Specialist of Sound, and it's going to interact with things like Fulfill My Duty, just so you can get problems out of the way. Enhance, remove, seal 1 rival asset or foundation. When you need to kill someone, this turns the problems off. You play Fulfilled My Duty. It's a 2/4, destroy endless enhanced step. Great. Their setup card doesn't set them up anymore. Their kill card doesn't kill you anymore. Play for Heroic Lineage. It's more speed reduction. It's more damage when you're trying to just play a poke game with Iida. Say you just send an Engine Rush on turn 2. You make it 8 mid for 7 with Iida's response and a Heroic Lineage commit, and that's a perfectly fine card to send by itself without overextending. You get 4 Natural Leader. This just shuts off problem cards again. It also gives speed when you're trying to kill them with Reciprocal Burst. And that's pretty much the deck. Like I said, really straightforward. You're just playing a bunch of Iida cards. But the thing you might have missed is the synergies between Reciprocal Extend, Float, play Tenure Response onto a Reciprocal Burst, and plus Ultra. Statistically, the blocks on this deck are great. You've got a bunch of lows for, say, Todoroki trying to just body you with lows. You've got a bunch of mids where you can sort of just partial your way through and soak a bunch of damage off your 28 vitality here. And then you have a decent spread of high blocks for that Ochako game. If you were looking to get better or tweak a few things, I would probably find a way to trim some of these mid blocks, get some of the high blocks up tier, because I think Ochako and Su are going to be dominant forces in the meta. But as it stands right now, this is a great initial Iida list. Let me know what you guys think. You can find me on Facebook at Brett Hillman. You can like and subscribe to Ace Maneuvers and get at us that way. I don't have an email up just yet to bother me, so leave me alone. I'm old. But I'm sure there will be a way to contact me directly into my inbox because I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your night. Brett out.